Hey, how are you, interweb people? I'm Andy Burns. I'm the editor-in-chief of BiffBamPop.com. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/BBPCanada. You can also find us on Twitter at BiffBamPop. And this is the final Biff Bam Popcast of 2014. I make it sound way more grandiose than it is, but we only did 3 this year. But hey, it's still the last one. Kudos to Glenn Walker for suggesting that we do this last minute. So all of us spent our day prepping, so no doubt this is going to be the most scintillating conversation on 2014 that anyone will be hearing. So let's get into it. Let me introduce our panel. Basically, I think that you guys are the all-stars of 2014 in terms of panelists. Y'all have made every one, so good on you. First, our steampunk granny. Oh, JP, you didn't make one. That's right. You're no longer an all-star. Our steampunk granny, Marie Gilbert. How are you, Marie?
Doing fine, thank you.
Very nice. Nice to see you this evening. Our non-all-star, our consulting editor for BiffBamPop.com, JP Fallavollita. How are you tonight, my friend?
I'm doing excellent for an end of 2014 year. Yeah, I'm looking forward to 2015. All-star in 2015.
I hope so. You've got your cup of coffee with you?
I totally do.
Excellent. The latest addition to Biff Bam Pop, and very happy that when I asked her if she could write, that she actually could write, because some people say that they can and then they just can't. But she actually delivers every week. Miss Amanda Blue, how's it going, Amanda?
Doing pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, good.
I'm looking forward to the end of this year, to be honest, and I'm pretty here.
All right. And the man with the plan for tonight, Mr. Glenn Walker, what do you say, brother?
Yo, 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 what up?
He goes out just like he came in.
Yeah, very, very urban. Okay, let's get into it. 2014. It was a pretty good year, I guess, for pop culture stuff, which is what we're going to talk about. We're going to go through what we loved and maybe what we didn't. You know, we said we're going to choose our best ofs, and we can definitely throw some worst ofs in there. But I think the first thing that we want to talk about, the first thing that I want to throw to you guys is your best of, your favorite movie of 2014. And there's always a lot of pressure on you know, the first person to talk in a Biff Bam Popcast, because the entire podcast rests on their shoulders in the answer that they give for the first question. So Amanda, I am going to start with you, and you can't call me a fucker or anything. I can almost predict what you're going to say your favorite movie was anyway. Your favorite movie of 2014.
Okay, what's your guess?
Well, my guess is that you're going to say The Babadook.
Yeah, you're right. It was the best movie of the year for me, for sure.
Okay, so why?
Close.
Okay, why? Why The Babadook? Of everything that you saw this year?
It held me start to finish. I found myself distracted with other movies this year. I'd kind of get half an hour, 45 minutes in, and just sort of wanted it to be over so that I could do something else, or things didn't live up to expectations. I think maybe that's what it was about The Babadook, is I didn't have any expectations. I didn't even hear about the movie until the day before I watched it. I had no time to really overthink it or, you know, over-expect anything. I just got to enjoy it, and it totally delivered in my mind. I loved it. And it scared the crap out of me, so that was nice.
And they loved us for talking about The Babadook. We talked about it in our last Biff Bam Popcast, and we got a lot of love from those guys. So thanks a lot, even though they gave me crap because I didn't like it. But you know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
All right, Marie, favorite movie 2014.
I would say I had 2, but I'll go with Maleficent. That came out this year, right? Maleficent?
Yeah.
Okay, that was my favorite. I just liked the way Angelina Jolie just made that movie her own. she took it and she made it her own. And I think we got to see more of her, the true her, in that movie. She showed her comedic side and her scary side.
That's
It was-
interesting.
I
Yeah.
really was.
Dark and evil. Yeah.
Well, Glenn,
Yeah, I liked her. I liked her.
Glenn, you're a Disney guy. Did you see it?
I did. I had some problems with it, but Angelina Jolie was dead on it. It was perfect casting, and I did like it. I was kind of anchored to Sleeping Beauty that I couldn't release that enough to enjoy Maleficent, but it was good.
Do you think you'll be picking up the Maleficent Disney Infinity figure?
Oh yeah. We're both addicted to Disney Infinity this year, yeah.
Well, we'll have to talk about that because that was a big deal for you and I. But before we get into that, JP, favorite movie of 2014?
Favorite movie? Well, there's no way around this, but there was 3 films that I really enjoyed this year. The first one being Captain America: Winter Soldier. I thought it was fantastic and a game changer for these comic book to film sort of movies, where it was like the side dish of espionage, and I love that aspect of it. It really felt true to, I guess, the source material that Brew Baker was writing, a number of years ago. I love his stuff, so it just fit right into that wheelhouse. But the most fun movie was Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's a film for me that I thought had no right being that good. I mean, it's a walking, talking, gun-toting raccoon in space. It shouldn't have been well. It should have been off the rails, crazy. But it was so much fun to watch. But one of the movies that really caught my heart was, and not even in the comic book genre, it was the trip to Italy. I really enjoyed that with Steve Coogan, and I can't remember the second guy's name, but these 2 buddies, just traveling through Italy and eating food and enjoying the scenery. I really enjoyed that film.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I mean, I'm with you there on Guardians of the Galaxy. That was a great one. My personal favorite film of the year is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. It completely transcends the comic book genre. It's a spy film. It's like a throwback action film. The performances are amazing. The story is pretty epic. It helps to be a Marvel to have been watching all the Marvel films over the last couple of years, but I think that out of all of the sequels that we've seen, I think it's the best standalone. I think Chris Evans was just awesome as Captain America. So
Yeah.
that was a definite highlight for me. That was probably the highlight. And to be honest with you, kind of sticking with the comic book movies, I really liked X-Men: Days of Future Past as well. They managed to fix a lot of wrongs or perceived wrongs anyway, and I won't spoil it, but I actually may have shed 1 or 2 man tears at the end of that movie. It was there was just a lot of it just got me right here. Sorry. Anyway, from our favorites to our least favorite, and I'll go just because I'm gabbing here. Biggest disappointment, least favorite film of the year was not The Babadook for me. It was The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is as a guy that got his first tattoo of Spidey on his back, I'm supposed to like this movie. This is supposed to be something that I put as one of the best films of the year, and it's a piece of crap, and it sucks to say it, but apart from the performances of Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, who have amazing chemistry, you know why they're together because you see them. They still have that in this film, but no one learned the lessons from Batman and Robin and way too many villains, and it's horrible. It's just, it's bad. Bad. If you haven't seen it, don't watch it, and hopefully Marvel gets the rights back to Spider-Man and they can fix the mess that Sony's made of it. What about you, JP? Worst film of the year in your mind?
It's the same. It's the same steaming pile of refuse that you just mentioned. Yeah, I've put so much of that movie out of my mind, and now it's bringing it all back again. You're right. Other than Stone and Garfield, they were the only 2 redeeming qualities in that film. Everything else, I just genuinely hated. Everything else wouldn't wish my worst enemy to watch that film.
I might wish it on my worst enemy. I think that's I think it's a suitable punishment. What I just don't understand, and maybe you guys might have some kind of insight, but why give a villain really bad theme music? That, you've got this villain, and I don't know if everyone here has seen it, but you've got Jamie Foxx as Electro, and instead of making him like a cool, like just a good, interesting character and villain, he's like this sort of like, he's like a dumbass. Like it's just so horrible. And he's got theme music that sounds like Otis's theme music from Superman the movie. Now maybe I'm getting a little geeky here for a few people and for people watching, but for people who know, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You don't give that music to a villain. Glenn, why would they do that? What were they thinking? Why do they hurt me this way?
I think they didn't understand the character.
Right.
I think it was a lack of understanding of what Electro is about. Electro is basically your typical supervillain with a cool costume from the comics that he really just wants to rob banks. And for some reason they had to impose a motivation on him. And in imposing that motivation, they made him this dweeb. And it just didn't work. They would have been better off creating a brand new character.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Give him a different name. Call him the Nerd or something. But yeah,
Right.
horrible. Anyway, I can't talk about it anymore. It's far too upsetting. Amanda Blue, your least favorite film of 2014.
Oh, The Interview.
You watched it.
I caved and I watched it, and it was the worst thing ever. And if it had started a world war, that would have really pissed me off because it wasn't worth it anyway. It was just terrible.
I just can't find myself wanting to see it.
No.
I didn't want to see it either, but I ended up watching it with someone, and it was just awful.
That movie was always going to be bad, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I liked it. It's funny, but it was the ratio was way off. It was, this much stupid for a tiny bit of funny, and it just didn't pay off at all.
Now, here's the question. Would you have watched it if there hadn't been all this controversy? Do you think it would have been a film that you would have watched anyway?
I probably would have ended up watching it. Just, I don't know. I kind of watch everything in the end. But, no, the hype had very little to do with it for me. Because of all the hype, I didn't want to watch it.
Right.
That kind of turned me off. I was so sick of hearing the interview for 2 weeks, and then ended up watching it anyways, and yeah, it's just garbage as far as I'm concerned.
Wow.
Did any of you guys?
Sorry?
Did any of you watch it?
No.
No, I think it's $86.99.
No.
Yeah, don't.
Marie, what about you? Worst film that you saw this year?
I was surprised. Interstellar, I went to go see it, and I was very excited to see it, but it just didn't. It kind of went off on this time travel. Some of the stuff was, accurate, where the faster you go, time slows down and all that, but it just didn't hold my interest. Towards the end, I was like, oh my God, I have no idea why he's floating in this closet in his daughter's room.
No spoilers.
Oops, sorry.
I can't believe there's a closet in outer space.
Yeah. I was disappointed, and I do like space programs. Like, I loved Gravity. I loved it, and just for the scenes of her floating over the Earth, I fear that was the closest I was going to ever get to being in outer space. But with Interstellar, I just expected a little better storyline, and the special effects were good. The storyline, not so much, especially since I'm like a science geek when it comes to like what can be done in space,
Well, would it be fair to say you enjoyed watching television a hell of a lot more this year than you did watching Interstellar? Because you had a busy year reviewing a ton of TV shows.
Yes, I would say yes, definitely for TV shows, more so than Interstellar.
So your pick, I mean, you review, list off all the shows that you review on Biff Bam Pop. The Walking Dead.
American Horror, Sleepy Hollow, Orphan Black. Wait.
Penny Dreadful.
Yes, Penny Dreadful. That I love Penny Dreadful. In the Flesh, which is a BBC version of a zombie apocalypse. Wait, my brain is going.
American Horror Story.
Yeah, I did say American Horror Story.
Okay.
Well, let's put it this way. I've gone through 7 copybooks so far, writing, watching, and reviewing for the last couple of years for you. And I think I've covered most of the TV shows that I'm like faithful to.
Yeah.
Oh, I know Bates Motel.
Yeah.
Bates Motel I did.
So out of everything that you watched in 2014, what was your favorite series and why?
Well, you know The Walking Dead's I love it. But I would say 2 shows. Well, no, 3. I love them all. 2 shows, Penny Dreadful, I thought was like right on for good horror, good old, scary time story, and good storylines. I love Penny Dreadful with the steampunk clothing and all that. Orphan Black, because I'm very interested in anything with genetics and cloning. And I think American Horror, the last 2 years with the Coven, and then this year with Freak Show, I'm really enjoying writing for them. So, but the one show I did not review for you and I fell in love with was True Detective. It's a series and it's coming back this year. Different actors, but it was a right on good crime drama, and I enjoyed it.
Is it fair to say, everyone, that we all fell in love with True Detective this year? That it was pretty awesome. Just a nod of the heads if everyone dug it.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably one of the best TV shows ever done.
Yeah.
Period.
It's as good as TV gets, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and speaking of as good as TV gets, JP, your favorite show this year and why?
It would also be True Detective, but I want to make mention of 2 other series that are on television right now because of the first one, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because of the leaps and bounds it's taken since season 1 and now into season 2. It's gotten so much better. It's been a fantastic series of like spy and espionage and ulterior factions and different Nazi groups, and it's just been so much fun to watch. And the fact that they finally revealed the plot point that I had said, Andrew and I, we had a bet going where I was proven correct. It was a Kree alien, and I won that steak dinner, and I can't wait for you to take me out in 2015.
I can't wait either. It's gonna.
Yeah, I know you can't. So there's that series, and if I can make mention, just to make mention, because I know Glenn's probably going to talk a little bit more about this.
Right.
The Flash has been so much fun this season. The half dozen episodes that we're in right now, 8 or 9 episodes, I suppose. Been a blast. So I'm sure Glenn will talk a little bit more about that.
Glenn, are you actually going to talk a little bit more about The Flash?
Well, True Detective is the best show this year, probably the best show in decades. The Flash, on the other hand, has been so enjoyable. It's probably the best comic book adaptation I've seen on TV ever. And I know that sounds blasphemous, having gotten the Batman complete series for Christmas, but The Flash is really amazing. It's a great show. I've loved it. I got to say I also liked Penny Dreadful, which Maria's done a wonderful job reviewing on the site.
Thank you.
What else was good this year? Power on Stars is very good. Black Sails, I think that's also on Stars. The pirate show. Black Sails is amazing. But there's been some great TV this year.
Yeah.
And you put Black Sails as one of them, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You didn't dig that?
My wife made me turn it off, and I can't say I was upset when she made me turn it off. But you know what? I don't watch very many Stars shows, and I have a feeling that if you watch Stars, Black Sails is kind of fits their demo or whatever of, you know, I guess it's okay acting.
You know what I dig about Stars? And granted, they're not HBO, but they do one show at a time. And I kind of like that. All their focus is on that, and I think that means something.
You know what? I probably have to give Black Sails another shot. I'm not really a period piece kind of guy, but you know, I'll try it. Amanda, what about you? Favorite show of 2014?
Favorite show this year would be The Fall, I think. But it's a pretty close second for The Affair. Glenn, I know you watched The Affair too.
Oh yeah.
So good. Those would be my top two of the year. They were both every week. I was like just cursing when the episode ended. I don't handle delayed gratification very well, so it's rough on me.
You know what I really love about The Affair? It's split into two. You get his point of view and then her point of view, and sometimes
right. There's no actual story.
But the idea is he's a writer, so you know he's kind of bending the truth, and she's pretty much just outright a liar.
Yeah,
so you have to find that medium. You have to find out what really happened.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
See, I haven't seen it, so there's something I have to catch up on. I think for me, my favorites were Agents Bet Aside. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been incredible this season. It's you know, last season was a hard slog through the first, you know, 12 episodes, 15 episodes. It was not good. And this season, you know, has just been fantastic, and it's good network action writing. Really, really digging it. Also watched the first season of The Fall on Amanda's recommendation. Great, so freaking good, that show. Gillian Anderson is awesome. So people have to check that one out because it's so great. And like you dudes too, True Detective was great. Though I will say, I mean, kind of in hindsight now, I kind of wish there had been a little bit of the supernatural element to it. I get that it wasn't. That's not what it was about. I'm totally okay with it, but I sort of felt like there was a bit of a tease. I kind of would have liked that a little more, but that doesn't sully anything. It was like two great performances by amazing actors and just great television, top to bottom. Moving on from TV to books, and in this we're saying you can either be, you know, novels or nonfiction or comic books, because a few of us on here like to read our comics. And I'll start. I would say that you know, for me, I really dug Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King. Read that really quickly. There's nothing that this guy can't do. I mean, we all know it already, but this is just another really good piece of writing from the master. I also read Martin Short's autobiography in, you know, I think in about a day, which that never happens for me. You know, it just, you know, it normally takes me a little while to read something, like, and it may take, you know, I read Gone Girl in like 3 nights, which was unprecedented at that point. But Marty Short's book, I mean, 1, he's Canadian, 2, he's from Hamilton, which is where I was born, and we know his family. My family knows his family, so there's a bit of familiarity there when I was reading the book. It's talking about a lot of places that I know, whether it's in Hamilton or whether it's in Toronto. But it's also laugh out loud funny. Like, it's really, really funny. And I'm not a guy, like, if I'm going to read something, I don't really want to read funny books. It's not me. I mean, I just, you know, that being said, I'd like to read Tina Fey's book, which I never did, or Amy Poehler's book, but those aren't books that I gravitate toward. But the Martin Short book was really, really good. So if you like to laugh, you might enjoy that one. Marie, what about you? What was your favorite book of 2014?
This year, I have to admit, I haven't had a chance to read any books because I've been reviewing for the Reading Glasses, our South Jersey Writers Group, anthology. So I was reading and getting ready for the interview, and I've been doing so many interviews. I haven't had a chance working on my book 2. I haven't had a chance to read a book. I know, smack my hand and put me in the corner
Well,
because I love to read.
a bunch of short stories for an anthology counts, though. I think you're okay.
Okay. Because I'm an avid reader, but this has just been a bad year for me. I've been so busy doing things that I haven't had time to sit and read.
What about you, Glenn?
Well, as part of the South Jersey Writers, it's my duty to say Reading Glasses was terrific.
Yeah.
I also want to give serious plugs out to you, Andy, for Wrapped in Plastic, and Marie for Oasis. Terrific books, and not just because I know you guys. You were talking about biographies. Andrea Martin, also from SCTV, has a really cool bio out right now, Lady Parts. That's also pretty good. A friend of mine who I interview every once in a while, Hope Clark, wrote a mystery called Murder on a Edesco, which is terrific. I had to read it to interview her.
Okay.
So I figured I'd just skim it. And it was like you were talking about with Gone Girl. I could not put it down. And it's just amazing when a friend or an assignment turns into a book that you can't put down. That's just amazing. So highest recommendations for that. Comics, I haven't read that many this year. I know I should be ashamed, but Multiversity by Grant Morrison is terrific. I love that.
What about you, Amanda? You read a ton. As long as now, you and I have known each other for a little while now, and you're always reading something, and you're reading incredibly quick. Yeah. So out of everything that you read this year, what stood out? What stands out?
Well, I should be saying your book, but I just got it the other day, so it didn't make the cut this year, but it will be first on the list in the new year.
Oh, I hope so.
I reread a lot of classics this year, a lot of Bradbury, kind of stuff I always take time for. But as far as new books that I read this year, Reflections by Brad Dukes, the oral history. This was really good. I also really enjoyed Stephen King's newest novel, Revival. Couldn't put it down. Finished it in record time. That was a good one. I don't know if you finished it. What's that?
I'll finish it at some point. But yeah, she read it super quickly. It was like every minute that she had, she was reading that book when I would text her.
Oh yeah. In my car with me, it was like in the bath with me, it was everywhere. If I had a minute, it was in the book. Yeah.
And JP, wrap it up. Your favorite book of 2014.
This past summer, I was reading Umberto Eco's book of Legendary Lands. That was a lot of fun. Just basically a series of essays on lands that exist in folklore, mythology, religion, that kind of thing. It was a lot of fun to read that. Well illustrated, well colored. It's just a great book. But in terms of comic books, really quickly, the Batman series written by Scott Snyder and illustrated by Greg Capullo is fantastic, and everybody should be reading that book. It is amazing. And it was so nice this year to see Neil Gaiman return to Sandman. We're 4 issues on in. J.H. Williams illustrating it. It's we were talking about how good television can be. This is as good as comics can get. It's fantastic stuff. A beautiful, beautiful book so far. And then up next we'll be reading this one, which Glenn has already mentioned.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah. So Wrapped in Plastic. This one is not. This one was unwrapped, I guess.
Unwrapped for the holidays. All right. And then the final for best of. Let's talk music and what we listen to. For me, 2 highlights this year, and they come because my whole life for an extended period of time existed around classic rock. It really should come as no surprise that it was classic rock artists, but first of all, the new AC/DC album, 35 minutes of kick-ass rock and roll with some good innuendo in all the lyrics. It was a tempestuous year for the band. I wouldn't have thought that they would put out as good a record as they did. I mean, there's the idea that with AC/DC, you've heard one AC/DC record, you've heard them all. that's pretty true. But one of the reasons why they continue to, actually sell records and get people excited when they put out a new album is the level of consistency. Are they breaking new ground? No, there's nothing groundbreaking about it. But if I want 35 minutes of rock and roll that's going to kick my ass, Rocker Bus totally did it, and that's sometimes all you can ask for. The other thing that was a big deal for me was the new Pink Floyd album, The Endless River. 70 minutes, most of it instrumental. 20 years after their final studio, what would have been their final studio album, The Division Bell. Honestly, never thought that I would be talking about a new Pink Floyd album. Pink Floyd is by far my favorite band. And this album is a keeper. It began as outtakes from The Division Bell in 1994. It became something else entirely. It's got a flow to it that's unbelievable. It's got an energy to it that The Division Bell is sorely missing. And it's everything that made the trippy side of Pink Floyd fantastic. For those of us that like to smoke a joint or whatever and listen to, Dark Side of the Moon or metal, those earlier albums, and I'm not talking about the concept albums as much as those sort of, the psychedelic-y, Piper at the Gates of Dawn kind of stuff. It's just, this album is, one, it's awesome in surround sound. Two, it's awesome that it exists, and it's, three, it's awesome that they managed to do a fitting final record. I don't know if The Division Bell would have been a great finale for the band. For some people it would have been. There's some great songs on there. High Hopes, the last song on The Division Bell, is classic Pink Floyd. It's where The Endless River gets its title from. But, yeah, man, if you liked Pink Floyd, and I'm not saying, like, if you like the final cut on the wall, this record's probably not for you. But if you're open to that exploratory stuff that they were doing before they did their defining concept albums, definitely pick up The Endless River. It's a fitting end to one of the greatest bands of all time. JP, what about you? Favorites of 2014?
Well, that Pink Floyd album, like you just said, it's got the greatest last song that a band could possibly produce, I would think, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to have my top 5 albums article out actually tomorrow on December the 31st. So we'll save it till then, but there'll be a handful of Brits on that top 5 albums of 2014. One rock band out of Philadelphia and a Canadian institution will be on that list as well. So, yeah.
Nice teasing.
Yeah.
What about you, Glenn? What'd you listen to this year that you dug?
Well, if anyone read the gift guide, I love the Bowie compilation, which is just amazing. New mixes, new versions. What I really like this year is not really new and it's not really out, but I'm hoping it will be out, is Kate Bush Before the Dawn. Her performances in London during August and September. I'm hoping eventually they'll be out on video or out on audio in some form. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I got bootlegs of that, and they're just amazing. I love Kate. She's just fantastic.
Nice. Marie, what about you? Did you listen to anything this year that stuck with you?
Just like I love the Black Keys and Monsters and Men, but basically I just listen to old classics, old rock, Nothing new this year for me.
Well, Black Keys counts. That was a pretty good album that they put out.
Yeah.
Amanda?
You could probably guess this one too. Favorite new band of the year?
Well, I really like this band.
You what?
I really like this band, Bears Den.
Wow, Bears Den. Good work. Bears Den, best of the year for me. Met them this summer. They were amazing. They were amazing live. The way they write just blows me away. I can listen to the same song 200 times and still be just moved by it the same way every time. And that's kind of a rare thing, in a way. But I also spent most of this year listening to Nick Cave, I would say. Just kind of random, but I think that's probably what I listened to most overall. And saw him this year too. Amazing. Hoping he comes back, but I'll never get tired of the Bad Seeds for sure.
Nice. And I think you and I and JP, I think we'd all say that the new Leonard Cohen record was also pretty solid this year. Right, JP? You like that one?
Sorry, what album was that?
The Leonard Cohen one?
Well, a Canadian institution, isn't he?
Oh, nice. Sorry,
Yeah.
good teasing. Read JP's article tomorrow for his top 5. He's a Canadian institution. And on that note, I'm going to go find my institution or my bed because it's been a long year. It's been a pretty solid year. I'll tell you this, it was a solid year for Biff Bam Pop. It's the best year we've had in a couple of years. And many of the reasons why it was so great are the folks that are little squares on your screen right now, along with all the other contributing writers that give their work and their time freely and of their own free will to Biff Bam Pop. It's just been really, really good. I look at to see how we're doing, and people just, especially over the past 6 months, we've had a lot of people coming all the time, and it's because of the hard work that you guys have been doing, that all the other writers have been doing too. So thank you all. Thanks for keeping on, and doing the work that you do. And yeah, I think 2015 will hopefully be really good. There's lots of things for geeks like us to look forward to. New Star Wars movie, new Avengers movie. Well, I don't know. There's a lot. What's that? New what, buddy?
That's another Popcast. Fantastic Four.
Oh, cripes. Yeah, there's new.
Yay, Fantastic Four.
Anyway, it's been a really great year, so thank you to Amanda Blue and Glenn Walker and Marie Gilbert and JP Fallavollita for doing what they do, for doing the podcast. By far the best panel that we've ever had, so thanks you guys for doing it on short notice tonight and for doing it this year, and we will do it into the next year. Thanks everyone for watching, and you can find us at biffbampop.com, find us at Facebook at facebook.com/bbpcanada, and on Twitter at biffbampop. And yeah, just it's been a great year, and look forward to 2015. So Happy New Year. I'm Andy Burns, the editor-in-chief of Biff Bam Pop, and I got to go to bed because I can hardly keep my eyes open. Thanks, folks. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's. Bye.